about that, Mark?
Clicked the wrong one, didn't you there, Hotshot?
I think so. Yes, I did. Cam said he was tired of seeing his commercial anyway.
uh,
Oh, are you rested up yet?
yeah, I was rested up the next day. I mean, I think I washed my clothes that night when I got home.
Yeah.
I really wasn't tired. And I heard some
Oh,
people say they were tired and sore. But hey, before we get started, I want to
uh-oh.
say
Public service announcement.
yes, happy birthday to our friend
Vicky
Donna
Culture.
Homa Monk.
Oh, Donna. It is Donna's birthday. And we missed Vicky's over the weekend.
Yeah, I sent her a birthday message.
She said she wanted money.
Yeah. Did you? I'm not gonna say what it was about, but did she send
Yes.
you a message yesterday?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna go up there and sit with Dan.
I may
And
too.
um,
Bringing some value.
yeah.
All right. Well, tonight, you got any other announcements?
No.
All right. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about what we did over the weekend. Eric planned this outing for what, 3 or 4 months? And then Spencer took over. No, Spencer didn't take over. Him and Eric planned this for a little while, and we met in a normal place we've been to that we've had a lot of encounters and interaction. And holy moly, Spencer done hung up now that I was going to bring him on here.
I just got a message from Sherry, and
Yeah.
she said we're feeding back really bad. If y'all in the chat room will let us know if it's feeding back.
It may be. I don't know.
I haven't seen anything.
I don't hear it here. She's typing to you again. I can see her. There's Dan Ricky.
There he is.
Yep. How will the booze and drugs? Dan just had him a predicament over the last week or so and made it out like the boss man he is. All right, here's Spencer. Hey, Spencer, are we getting feedback?
No. I don't know. I had some kind of issue where I couldn't hear anything.
All right. So tell me about you and Eric getting together on this and planning what we did before it moth killed you. That was an orb. No, it's a moth.
No. It was a moth. No. Me and Eric didn't get together on this. You're going to get Eric pissed at me. No. Eric did this. What happened was Eric created a weekend where I already had something planned. And then I already had people. Well, it's true. I already had people going to the thing that me and Mark Green had going on. And Eric rescheduled. And I feel horrible about this, but Eric rescheduled because I had something else going on and everything. And then we were all going to go to Eric's thing, and then I couldn't make it. And I feel really bad about that.
Tell us what happened, Spencer.
Man, this is embarrassing. I am not much of a mechanic. I don't even know what happened. I changed the belt on my truck because it had been a while, and there were cracks in the belt. I could see them. So I changed the belt on my truck, and then I changed the oil in my truck. And I went to back out the night before on Thursday. I took off the whole day before coming down there. And I went to back out my driveway and take the trash away because I didn't want that piling up on me while I was gone. And the truck shut off and a light come on. It was the transmission light. And I was like, what the heck? and I started it back up and it came on. And then I went to pull down the driveway and it died again. And I was like, what the heck? And I pulled back up, I put it in park, let it run for a little bit. Now I took the trash off like a few miles away and it ran fine. So I figured me and Anthony were good to go on Friday morning. Well, Friday morning, about 4 a.m., I go out, get in, turn it on. It comes on. I went to back up. It dies again. And the light comes on. And I was like, dang it. And anyway, and you got to understand, I had like 200. I was bringing spiral hams for everybody to eat off of. I had whole chickens. Anthony had a brisket, a whole brisket we were going to cook and everything. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If I'd
And
have known
about
that, I'd have come
4:30
and picked you up.
About 4:30 a.m., I'm standing in my driveway with a flashlight trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And I'm cussing. And I called Anthony and I'm like, dude, you got to come pick me up. He's like, man, I got a main oil leak. I thought you were driving. I was like, I was. And I had a big job I had to get to on Monday. And there was no way I could like chance not being back with the truck on Monday and everything. And I felt horrible about it because I know Eric went out of his way. And if you've got Eric on this show later on after me, I Lord only knows what he's gonna say because I know he was cussing. But I tried everything I could to get something going on. But ultimately, I ended up buying a new truck on Saturday.
We told you you would. Have you got a picture of it here?
No.
Oh, what'd you get?
I got a 2021 Toyota Tundra SR5.
Mark, you know what we say about that? Can't hide money.
It comes with a really big payment.
It comes with a warranty too and roadside assistance.
Yeah, it does. So there's no excuses on the next trip. But for what it's worth, man, I desperately wanted to be there. I was looking forward to this for months, and I had a lot of money in that cooler because I was going to feed everybody right. But that's my story.
Man, you'd have had to get in line because everybody there intended on feeding everybody.
Yeah. I brought home every piece of protein that I took for the for community food. I actually brought something for you. I had several things for you, and you were missed, Spencer.
Oh, well, man, I sincerely appreciate that. I cannot think straight whenever I've got to deal with like work and everything. And I knew I had to take care of work come Monday, and it was all I could do I was mad. I was mad. My wife kept getting on me about being so, upset over the whole weekend, but I was mad. I mean, I was looking forward to this. Mark Green's thing was great, but the area that everybody was going to is somewhere I've been to several times before. Whenever I talk about the one encounter I had with everybody throwing things or with something throwing things and the tree breaks and the tree getting pushed over, and the area that I've got a recording of the tree getting pushed over and me saying, was that a tree? And Larry's laughing in the background. That was this area. And I love that area. This is the spot that if somebody said, okay, prove it to me, take me somewhere where Bigfoot is, I would go to this spot. And I was really looking forward to getting there and seeing everybody. But, I mean, that's what happened.
Well, I know you were wanting to get there, and I know that it was like you got hit in the stomach. But everybody there, whenever you and Anthony said y'all couldn't come, everybody was disappointed because everybody's looking forward to spending time with y'all. And Eric really wanted to drag you over every mountain there.
Eric and Misty wanted to drag me through every mud hole they could find. That's what.
What's sad is Eric got his allergies kicked in, so he was sick most of the weekend. But he did go out, but he wasn't feeling 100%. But
sucks. Yeah, I mean, I missed very much. I missed seeing Eric and Kane, and probably Sherry, and
probably.
Yeah.
Probably. She is the glue of every outing that we go on with her.
I wanted to meet Jim. I just wanted to talk to Jim in person. This guy's been bear hunting for forever.
Yeah.
I want to him. And like I said, Sherry and Kane more than Eric. And Mark Green. And I mean, Greg's buddy, but everybody else, I mean, it is what it is.
Well, so much for Spencer being on the show tonight. We appreciate your time. Team Misty.
Dang it.
Oh, man. No, we hate that you didn't make it, but you'll get to hear what went on and what didn't go on.
I'm listening.
Sherry and Misty were in the middle of all of it, and Mark.
Oh, really?
Mr. Jim had some weird stuff happen too, but I ain't gonna tell you. All right, Spencer, we appreciate you coming on here, and I'm going turkey hunting this weekend, but I'll try to make it. I may be remote.
See y'all.
Okay,
right,
see you, Spencer.
All right, Mark. That was a disappointing aspect of the weekend.
Yeah.
When poor Spencer and Anthony couldn't make it. Because they do like to cook for everybody.
Yeah. And they're good.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. Do you want to bring on Sherry and Donna and Mr. Jim now, or do you want to bring on Misty and all of them?
Bring them all on. That's the SASS.
It is the SASS. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
I ain't seen y'all in 3 or 4 days. How y'all doing?
Long time no see.
Everybody had a safe, uneventful trip home, I see.
Not uneventful.
Not uneventful.
We got ill people along with us.
What happened?
I was about ready to put them all out and make them walk. Everybody's just tired.
So, I guess I was the first one besides Eric to arrive at camp. Me and Debbie, we had went into Jamestown, and we were planning on getting a hotel room and then just driving the other hour into the camp the next morning, but there wasn't any hotel room. So we went on in that night, and we didn't know anybody was there. We didn't know Eric was there by himself. He was the only one in camp till we got there. But we went on and set up, and I don't know. I slept every night. I slept good. So I don't know what went on, but I don't think anything much went on besides some wood knocks and rummaging around that you can't tell what it is. But then the next day, everybody arrived. Mark, did you come in before Misty and Sherry and them?
Yeah.
Mark got there and he set up, and then Misty, Sherry, Donna, and Mr. Jim. Mark Green got there later Friday afternoon, and Rebecca and sister. Kane come Friday afternoon, and Greg, I think he came Friday afternoon, him and Al and his son Colton. Was that everybody? Did I miss anybody?
I think Green come next day.
I think you did.
Well, Mark
that came
had,
with Mark and Rebecca, some friends of theirs.
yeah. Ben and
Bradley.
Bradley.
Bradney.
Yeah.
Bradney?
I think that's what he said. I may be wrong.
Okay.
It may be Bradley, but I thought he said Bradney.
Al, what is that now?
That was Greg's.
But
That was a
Yeah.
I was hoping Debbie would be on here so she could tell what happened that first night that everybody was in camp, but she's on another show right now. So I'll just start it and then I'll let Misty finish it. Everybody got in, got settled. We all ate, got camp set up, went to bed. I don't know. What time was it? Like 3 o'clock in the morning?
It was late.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was asleep. I was tired. I'm still tired. I don't know. I probably need to go to the doctor and get my heart ringed out from arteries or something. But anyway, Debbie started nudging me because she was hearing something walking behind her tent. And I woke up and I heard it. And I was like Mr. Jim. I was like, big whoop-de-doo. Something's walking out there around the tent. But it kept walking and kept walking. And I was like, well, stick your head out the door and light it up the spotlight and see what it is. That way I could go back to sleep. Anyway, she jumped up there and she popped the tent door open and come around the corner of the tent, popped the spotlight on. And she saw a black bear standing there. She was looking for Bigfoot, but as a black bear. And I'm thinking, all right, she's going to just come back in. But no, Debbie takes off around the corner of the tent yelling, hey, bear, running the bear off because it's over there sniffing Mark's tent. Mark, what were you doing?
That wasn't Mark. That was me. It was, I was in the tent.
I know, but it was between you and Mark.
No, I think Debbie said it was at the cooler. It was
At the
trying to get
cooler.
in my cooler.
Yeah.
And
But Mark didn't even know it.
no, they told me they were screaming at it. And
They were.
I slept right through it. Like I always do. I wouldn't want to disappoint you, Larry. I slept right through it.
I would have too if I wasn't getting nudged.
Well, you know what's the funny about that though? Before that happened and before everybody went to bed, me and Mark was sitting there, and I could hear something walking, and I was like, Mark, listen. I was like, I think I hear a bear walking. And so when I go to bed and everything gets quiet, I can hear this thing back behind my tent, kind of like grunting a little bit, like it's like smelling, trying to, I don't know, just like hang out or whatever and see what it can find. But I can hear it back there, and I go to sleep to this thing back there making noise behind my tent.
Yeah.
And I wake up to Debbie out here going, hey bear, with her spotlight. She's like, unzip the tent and peek out. I'm like, Debbie, what are you doing outside my tent? She said, you got a bear out here hanging around. She said, it's a big one. She said, it's standing flat-footed and looking straight up on the table.
Yeah.
Well, when we looked at the tracks the next day, I'm going to say that thing was every bit of close to 300 pounds. I mean, it's a big one. It had saucer-sized feet.
You
But
think,
yeah, but
you
I
think
couldn't
Mr.
see
Jim
because-
would have shot it?
no, he ain't never.
He has never shot a bear, Larry.
Sure he would, though.
She'd drop a bear like a sack of potatoes.
Daniel,
I'd rather just take a picture of them, let them go.
I understand that. I do.
he just don't want to have to drag him out. That's what it is.
He's smart.
Go on now.
Too much work, ain't it?
But after that, what happened, Misty? I know the bear kind of run off. You popped your head out of your tent.
I had a light set up to shine behind the tent to where I could kick it on inside the tent if something did come up, to kind of give a little extra light to see something. And I turned that on, and she had her spotlight. And then I couldn't see out the way my tent was. It's only got one zipper, and I keep it closed down so it don't get wet. So without me getting out, I just stuck my light out and just kind of shined it. And then I started clapping, and it ran off. But
Yeah.
I never seen it back after that. Never heard it. Never found any more tracks after it come back though.
She had like a hunting blind set up to hold one of the camping spots. And evidently the bear ran that way and run over that hunting blind because it was knocked down the next morning. So the camouflage worked on that one.
I talked to a couple that was there that wasn't in our group and said that bear came over there and stole some stuff from them.
Huh. Well, we were told a couple of years ago that that's where they took the nuisance bears and let them
Yeah.
out, and we kind of laughed because we hadn't seen nothing. I will say this time, I know Eric heard turkeys gobbling. We saw turkeys, we saw deer, and we saw black bear. And normally we don't see anything in this area, which I don't know if that's unusual or if this time was unusual. But what we've been there 4 or 5 times and have not seen any wildlife at all, hardly. But this weekend, I think it was opening weekend of the trout season, maybe. And there was the campsites were full pretty much, and people running up and down the road. Some yahoo that liked his beer was yelling the all weekend. This week he's got laryngitis, but he yelled all weekend. And
All night and all day.
Yeah. We were gonna send Misty down there, but we held her back.
We did go down there.
And
we-
Down that night.
Yeah, we
Oh,
took
yeah.
a night hike.
did
down
y'all go
there.
down there and yell?
No, we didn't yell. But
You
we
shoulda.
went down there and scoped them out.
Did
What
you
happened? What happened on y'all's night hikes? Well,
Okay, I'll tell this on
all right.
the last night hike we did. It was Kane and Misty and myself. Now, Kane had this thing. I don't know what it was. It was some kind of app. Do you know what that was called?
An Oculus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oculus, yeah.
So it would spit out words every now and then. And sometimes they were it would kind of spook you. And so you broke me up there, Scott. So, and this was so funny. I mean, it's kind of spooky when you're walking down a gravel road at night, no lights, you know, you're hearing things, and all of a sudden it spits out these. It was something like, "I'll tie you up." And just as soon as it said it, that quick-witted Misty on that scary night hike
Oh my God.
shoots out, "Don't threaten me with a good time." I've seen grown men that would have busted out running for their lives if that thing had come out on that scary road. And there's Misty making us laugh.
Oh gosh.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Man. Mr. Jim, what do you think about her?
Just all of that.
So did y'all have anything else happen on the night hikes besides Misty trying to get tied up by an Oculus freaking ghost or whatever?
Just speak up fast enough, they won't hear you.
Well,
Oh, Mark.
yeah.
Yeah, tell him about the
You
light.
tell them. You tell
No,
them.
you seen it first. The light that we seen when Kane was down here with his thermal. I was down here at the other campground. We were kind of spread out, and Mark was in between us. He comes and gets me, and he's like, "You got to come look at this light." And I was like, "What?" And I was already hearing some weird stuff off to my right. We didn't know it, but Kane's over here looking at two big things across the creek and up on the ridge in the thermal, and Mark's standing here looking at I don't even know. I mean, it wasn't even the color of an orb, but it was bright, almost the size of a star, and floating and coming into him, like literally from way up. because we stood and watched it. Tell him, Mark, about how you say
I watched it for about 10 minutes before I even said anything to anyone. And we were all spread apart. And it was just weird. And just, it'd give you chilly bumps, just sitting there, just the vibe of just out there standing there. And we had no idea that Kane had, was sitting there watching, two pretty good sized thermal hits. And so it's going to be interesting to see whenever he goes through his footage.
Yeah. I never did get to see those. Like you can Bluetooth it to the iPad and record it.
Did you see it?
Kane, for some reason, don't do that. He just lets it be on the camera itself. And I don't know. I like the other where you can show it immediately instead of waiting 3 days or 20.
Yeah.
But Kane, he likes hiding evidence and keeping it for himself and all that stuff. What are y'all doing? Are y'all playing the shofar? Nope.
That was a phone back here, I think.
that was me. I sent you a text.
Why did you send them a text when they're? You
I
could have
expected
just
her
told
to have
them.
her phone turned off. I was gonna tell her when she was talking, she was cutting in and out and causing you guys to cut in and out.
Well, that's all right.
Who, us? We ain't even been talking.
It's just picking it up. But anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
There was thumping outside.
Thumping?
A
Was
car
that-
was thumping down the road.
The Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Donna, tell us about the last night
Oh,
that
Lord.
we were there, and the next morning, I think it was Kane that found some prints around the tent, but something happened to you in that tent. You want to tell us about it?
Well, I don't know if it was the heebie-jeebies, me or what, but I was laying there. I had stayed up later with Misty and Debbie and everybody, and Sharon and Jim went on to bed. And I got in there, got in my cot and everything, and I was laying there probably about 3:30, 4 o'clock, I guess it was. Kind of heard, I thought maybe Sherry or Jim was getting up to go to the bathroom or something, because I kind of heard like a zip, like the zipper on the tent was being moved. But right before that, the funny part is I just felt something like the tent come in, like something just barely touched me on my shoulder, and I jumped. And whenever I jumped, it was gone. But then I heard that little zipper part, and Sherry and I, the next morning, we were checking around and stuff, and it wasn't actually the zipper that we heard, because she heard it too. She had got up right after that and got a gun. What it was is something had scratched the side of the tent. There were no trees, as you all know, close to our tent. But there was something that had scratched the screen on the tent.
No, it wasn't screen, it was the zipper.
That's
And
what,
like it raked its nail down the zipper, and that's what it sounded like. But there was calls first.
yeah, we heard
Or
calls.
whatever it was, owls or whatever it was. Did
there
y'all
was
hear
no
those about
trill.
4 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yeah, about 4 o'clock. It was
Yeah.
really, really loud. Right there in the spot where Misty went that night down there, across from the bathrooms. And
But it kind of like started there, and it kind of moved up closer.
But it was loud, and it just a few minutes, and it did it 4 times. And then and after that, I got up to get my gun and put it in the bed, and that's when we heard. I didn't know she was awake.
Yeah. And I didn't know she was awake, but she said she got up and got the gun, but I heard her move, and I guess that's what she was doing, was getting the gun.
But it was loud.
Yeah.
And it was just one call, a call or owl or whatever by itself.
But it didn't have no trill to it.
No, and it didn't. It didn't even sound like an owl. But it was 4 times after, probably about every 5 minutes, for about 20 minutes.
For about 20 minutes straight, yeah.
Well, I know the night before y'all had this happen, Sherry got out her shofar, her goat horn, whatever you want to call it. Have you got that with you?
You don't have
It's
it
in the
here with you,
truck.
do you?
Well, never mind. But anyway, she got some pretty good notes out of it, I guess is what you would call it.
Yeah.
And I can't say that we had any immediate response to it, but some of this stuff could have accumulated from her calls earlier, and they were coming to get y'all. Is that the way y'all say it?
I was just going to tell him it was her, not me, that was blowing.
I think you went to bed saying that, didn't you?
I was saying it in my back of my head. It was her, not me. No, I'm kidding.
Spencer asked, did y'all have any recorders going?
We did have some,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah, Misty, didn't you have one going that night too? The last night?
Yes, she
yeah.
did.
Yeah, I've got to. As a matter of fact, I started listening to stuff. I started to listen to it tonight, and I didn't get to it.
We've not got to listen to them yet.
Well, Spencer's just asking because he was really hoping y'all just send him all the audio so he could listen to it.
Well, I'm disappointed. I wanted to meet Spencer.
Well, you know, you saw him here on the show tonight, and that's about as good as it gets. Right?
I mean, you know, I might have went over to Team Spencer instead of Team Misty.
Yeah, you probably would have. If he'd have cooked that brisket, you would have.
There you go. Man, up there on my own belly.
Mine too. So y'all went out with Eric and Kane on a day hike, right?
Yeah.
And y'all found lots of stuff. Well, I set at camp and protected the food from the black bears. Can y'all talk about anything y'all had happen or saw while y'all were out?
Go ahead, Misty.
You go ahead.
Well, of course, we found some footprints and stuff like you normally do, and but they go ahead.
Well, I was going to say some tree manipulations, and you spotted something, Larry. Not that me and Larry has walked through there. I don't know how many times, but there was like a rock.
A slab.
That was, it was like the diameter of a Volkswagen.
Yeah.
And it was just leaned up against a rock wall. And you look around and there's no other shelves around there that were that big. And that just really amazed me. It kind of opened my eyes that I need to look at other things when I'm out there.
Well, the first thing I thought when I saw it, you could hide behind there and look, watch for people to come, and or in the water, you could see the water people going through. People are down there fishing or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. But
it's a strong possibility because that area right there along that creek or river, whatever you want to call it, that's where most of the people are most of the time. And that's because they're either fishing or they're playing in it or they're swimming in it, whatever. But that's where the majority of people go, is along that creek bank. So it makes sense they'd have a blind set up where they could watch that.
Larry, I sent you a video of some of our day hikes out there that I had filmed.
Yep.
And this is the first one where we went with Kane and Misty and myself and Miss Sherry. And Sherry, you can talk about some of the things that we spotted there.
When we went up the hill.
The first time. Yeah.
Well, they showed us some things where it looks kind of like burial sites, and it's like it's oblong, and there's different sizes of them going up the hill, and I guess most of them were about 30 foot apart, and they may have some pictures of them. But it was kind of neat. It actually did kind of look like a burial site. Somebody put rocks on it to keep animals from digging it out. Of course, it was really, really old. But there were quite a few of them lined up through there. And I mean, I thought that was neat. And then Missy, you talked about what you found.
What I found where?
The track.
The trackways.
Oh, me and Eric both did. I was actually going up to the right, and he had walked down and went around to the left, and he hollered for Mark and was showing Mark a trackway that he had found. And I was tracking one too that I'm pretty sure, you know, that they were going to come in together and meet up as they went up the hill going towards the ridge.
Kane found some flint rock. There's what we were looking at. Look at my big butt.
I got the so
But there was flint rock, little pieces of it on there that he and Missy found there, and that was kind of neat. Like, you know, somebody's been sitting there chipping at flint.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Kane said it looked like they were trying to make a bird point or something out of it.
Yeah.
There was an old fire pit and everything back behind it, and they had propped up a rock, you could tell, trying to make like a wind block.
Yeah. Yeah, those overhangs are pretty cool up there.
Oh, man, we found one that we took pictures of. Sherry and Mark had gone down, and it was just me and Kane, and we found this bedding area. It looked like somebody took a broom and raked all these leaves up, just completely perfect. And whatever it was that had laid down in this, me and Kane couldn't have made that size impression if we'd have laid down on those leaves. It was absolutely huge. And the way the overhang was, it probably went out 30 foot, and I couldn't reach the top of it. And it kind of circled around and made a little bit of a bowl. And it was windy. And when you would get up in there and get back behind it, you couldn't feel a bit of wind. It was an absolute perfect area to get in out of the weather.
He's got it on it. And it looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Debbie and I had found the same thing about 3 years earlier, I believe, but it was a different overhang. And it had an indention in the middle, and you couldn't tell where anything had walked in and out of it on the one we found.
One either. It had a scoot, like, you know, if you'd go to get up or something and maybe drag your foot or drag your butt on the ground, that's the only place where you could tell where anything had come in or out, but there was no tracks anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, if it's Bigfoot related, I just wonder if it had a young one and that was its nursery kinda, and it would set it in the middle of the leaves.
I don't know. It was weird. And I mean, you could just, as high up as it was, it's like you could look out and see everything. It was right above the campground, but I couldn't see the campground from there. But this trip was so much fun. That was such a good hike we went on this day.
No,
you couldn't have had better weather for it.
This is the hike where y'all went back to where we primitive camp, right?
Yeah. It had rained on us that morning, and it was really cold, but after it finally cleared up, it turned out really, really nice to go hiking.
Yeah. Yeah. I really wish somebody, a small group, would have went back there and camped this time, but
me too.
It just didn't work out.
I wanted to camp so bad. I even asked Kane, I was like, if Debbie or nobody doesn't want to, let's go camp under that ledge. He was like, just kind of looked at me like, I don't think we want to camp where something's bedding down.
No, probably not. But Debbie and myself and Spencer, we did go up to the ledge below where we found that nest and camp, and a tree got pushed down. So there you go. Billy Schilling asked, could you guys tell if any animals have been in those caves?
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh. Are you going to blow that thing?
You want me to?
Yeah.
I better get away go back a ways.
It won't matter.
All right.
It will. It'll be loud.
I'll turn the mic down.
I probably won't do it right the first time since everybody's listening. Loud?
Nope.
No.
I turned the mic down.
Oh. Anyway, that's it. That's like a ram's horn, but I mean you can get the big ones, but they are really expensive.
Barry, how much are they? Like $800?
Up to thousands.
Yeah.
I think Coombo looked up on his and got it in a secondhand store.
Yep. I believe that's right.
I told Sherry just to buy her a ram grower.
Thanks, Diane.
Mr. Jim, I know you listen to all us talk about what was going on and this and that, and you usually talked us off the ledge. But did you have anything over the weekend that maybe you didn't have an answer for? Anything that kind of thought, well, maybe that could be something?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now that's good to hear. Because Mr. Jim,
it could have been.
Right.
I never said they're not, they don't exist.
Right.
I just said I don't believe.
But
Right.
you and I heard some peculiar noises, didn't we? When we were sitting there.
But I thought most of what I heard was that.
Yeah.
But there was one or two that was iffy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the night that the Yahoo was over there in the other camp drinking and yelling, that we did hear something from afar that sounded peculiar, and it did get closer as the night went on.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've got it on audio, and Spencer and Mark have put it on spectrogram and see what it looks like. But did you hear anything that went on that last night y'all were at camp, the zipper or any of that?
Oh,
He heard those
I
about
heard
4
it.
o'clock at morning too.
I heard it all.
Yeah.
It did get closer, but it sounded like I owl to me again.
It was just a single voice, and it went off, and then about just a few minutes later it went off.
Like it moved.
Yeah, and about 4 times, and then that scratch on the side of the tent. And if that had been a bear, there'd been a tear in the tent.
Yeah.
Now, something y'all didn't talk about, well, maybe Mark brought it up, but y'all did see tracks around the tent and around y'all's camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Jim, did you go look at any of those?
Yes, it did.
What did you think about that?
I thought one of them was a lawnmower. To tell you the truth,
Hey, that's fine.
looked like a wheel went right through it. So I mean, maybe it would. I don't know.
Yeah. Which
But
one was that one?
of it, we'll find out.
Oh, it's that one? Okay.
And we found another one down on the creek that was about the size of my foot, and I stood beside it, and I weigh 130 pounds, and I didn't make an indent in the rock at all.
Yeah.
And that one was about an inch thick, inch deep.
Yeah.
Well, now Misty found the only track that I thought was something that I didn't know what was.
On down the creek.
No, she was walking out the road right where
In between Larry and Debbie's camp
Right,
and ours.
right.
Yeah, that was weird.
That
They
was
were
a
right there.
foot.
Yeah.
I mean, it 20, not one,
Right and a left foot.
15, 16 inches long.
But you know what's so funny about
That's the
that?
only print I've seen I thought was a track.
Debbie wasn't walking around barefooted up there that morning y'all left, was she? Anywhere, Larry?
Not that morning now. That
She
night.
wouldn't have been down at the creek, I wouldn't think. We're not behind our camp.
No.
Barefooted.
No, the only time she'd have been barefooted is whenever she chased the bear the first night, and it rained after that
Oh,
twice.
Yeah.
Well, then we ought to be good. It wasn't her then.
She didn't get down on the creek chasing that bear. I know.
No, she went straight to Misty's tent, basically.
I'm surprised she went that far. I don't know if I would have been off.
She ain't right.
Oh, it's bad.
She ain't right.
Debbie's my hero. She wasn't gonna let it get me for sure. She come over and she's trying
No.
to get me woke up.
I'm not afraid of them, but I respect them. I'll tell you that.
Right. Yeah, it could be bad if they did decide to jump in the tent with Misty and eat her Twinkies or whatever she had in there. What do you have in there? You had a whole refrigerator full of food in there, didn't you?
Oh, I can't tell you what all I had in there. There's all kinds of goodies. I think it's like coming up the smell of my tent.
I think we'll get my hunting buddy down. Got out and he walked around the truck and the bear met him, got him down, bit him.
Yeah.
Chest. And it made a bad wound. It like never got healed up.
Took him 5-6 weeks to get well.
Yeah. Yeah. We sure didn't want that happening. But I don't know. Misty never did want to tell what she had in that tent, did she?
That's because she thinks you'll be coming over here raiding her tent.
You know, that's what's so funny. Everybody had brought literally so much freaking food, and it was desserts they cooked and just everything.
Of a coconut.
That's
No,
right,
I
right. You got to know where the food's being hid.
I didn't hardly eat anything that I brought. I mean, nothing. There was just so much food the whole time. I don't even think I cooked the chicken and bacon that I brought, but other than that, like snacks, I never even opened anything.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I'm sure it smelled it. I had jerky and crackers and candy bars.
what did we have each night? I know we had bear stew one night,
So we had deer stew.
deer stew, and then we had
Breaded deer tenderloin pieces,
yeah,
fried potatoes and sausage and chicken,
yeah. I gotta go. I
fried
gotta go
cherry
eat.
pies, all kinds of cobblers.
Yeah. The last night everybody had a
And
steak.
you all, yep, and you all got steaks. Those were awesome, by the way.
Yes, they were. Thank you. They were very good.
Cheese
All of
ball.
it was good. Yeah, cheese ball.
Cream-
Don't forget the cheese ball.
Oh, yeah.
There was all kinds of food. Nobody went hungry.
Donna said
No.
she lost 4 pounds. I think I found it.
I don't know how I did.
I don't know either.
All that food, but I told her, I said, I averaged out about 4 pounds that I lost.
Wow.
Everybody knew wherever they saw me that camp was cooking. Everybody'd say, well, Larry's over there with Greg. Greg must be cooking. Larry's over there with Misty and Mark. Misty must be cooking.
He
Hey,
went from camp one day with his plate.
Get a sampler plate.
We went from Greg's over to Sherry's. No, from Greg's, I think, to where me and Mark was staying, and got fried potatoes and stuff, I think, from over there, and then went to Sherry's and got some deer tenderloin or something that was over there. And he was coming back there, and I said, you want something else? And he had done been from every campsite to campsite gathering food. I thought he had an empty plate, and when he leaned it down, he was full.
Hey, Larry,
That's
speaking of food, I just sent you a little video.
Here's a little video. Let's take a look at this.
Larry, don't let them give you no more shit no more. I can see how you can be so hungry that you just damn eat shit off the ground. Look, I dropped my tuna, my last cracker.
I hate you.
We told you about Larry.
Yeah, I've done that to make you feel good. Not to do that.
I cannot tell you the times I've seen her eat something and she likes it. If she likes it, she's going to open her mouth and show it to you.
Mr. Jim's so embarrassed he can't even look at the screen.
That's all right.
You see,
Hey, buddy, just remember.
Your friend shared that. You know him?
Spencer,
No.
Mark.
you've had it.
That was funny.
Fucking up.
That was funny.
Yes,
No,
it
I was.
was.
I got so mad. I was unloading my stuff when we come back from camping, and I hadn't eaten nothing. I was starving to death. And you know those little packs you get? I think they've got like 5 or 6 crackers in them and like a can of tuna that's about this big.
Uh-huh.
No Alabama
That
Whites.
was the last one, and it. JR just washed the Jeep, so it was all right.
Oh, okay. That makes a difference. Spencer asked for any Alabama white sauce on there. That means
No, but
bird,
there's some good stew.
that means bird crap.
Yeah, we didn't tell Spencer about the bear stew.
It's just extra flavoring.
Who was it was going to tell him about that?
It was Misty.
No, about because he said he didn't like no bear. Was it Greg?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it was Craig.
Because he said he apparently he had ate something that was bad, and then Greg was dreading coming up there to get it because he thought it was going to be so bad and he'd have to eat it.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And I tell you, I don't eat deer meat. I don't like it. I've had several different people cook it. And when Greg made that deer, I tried the tenderloin and the stew.
It was all good.
I was impressed. I just tell you, I mean, it was great. I mean, now I could sit down and eat it. Normally, I smelled it cooking. I was in my tent. And I said, Greg, are you cooking deer meat? And he was like, yeah. I said, I can smell it. I don't know why. It's got a certain odor and flavor. And I don't like it. And I thought when he brings this over, I mean, first thing went through my mind, I was like, it's going to taste just like every other piece of deer meat I've ever tried. And it wasn't. I mean, it was really, really good.
Yeah.
I want the recipe for those tenders. They were absolutely delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Donna, tell us about your favorite part of the weekend.
Oh, Lord, there's so many favorite parts. I had an awesome time. I mean, it was just phenomenal. Everybody there they was just awesome. Everybody helpful, and it went too fast.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go back.
For sure.
I think we just need to find a central location. Everybody just moves there together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat, everybody wants to come.
Yep.
Yeah.
That would be good. It's hard to find a central location though.
Yeah. But I mean, it was phenomenal. I mean, I loved LBL and stuff, but I mean, this was better. It was more one-on-one with everybody.
Yeah. I agree. I like that area around Daniel Boone a little bit better than LBL.
Yeah.
LBL's good. It's got a good lore, history, good story, but it's a small area, and Daniel Boone's huge.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
and beautiful.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Did anybody get any tick bites? Me too.
Got some too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Debbie got more than I did, but she's probably sweeter than me.
I got a chigger or two around my ankles is all I got. Just
That's it.
yeah. And I wore shorts hiking.
I didn't get out in the woods.
I bathe in DEET.
Yeah, I didn't really. We went there in June and we didn't have any trouble with ticks. So I don't know. Maybe it's because all the deer and the bear and the turkey that are around there dropping them off everywhere.
I had got 2 at least off of me, but I didn't spray down that day we went on that walk, so
Yeah.
probably came from there.
So does anybody think they found any Bigfoot evidence? Mr. Jim does.
Yeah, that's what Misty found that day, the last day when we were leaving. It was really interesting. It wasn't deep enough to plaster, but it was, like Jim said, it was pretty interesting.
Kane found the same size track that morning as they were getting ready to leave, going around telling everybody bye at the tree.
Yeah.
And it was weird because after everybody left the last night that we were there, we only had Sherry and Jim in the center, and Mark and I was over here, and then Debbie and Larry was right here, and then Kane and Eric was up this way. So we were just kind of like in a little bit of circle, and we'd been out making calls and, kind of being silly and trying to get stuff stirred up. later on that night, whenever everybody finally went to bed, now that when
Yeah.
Jim and I was talking about, they heard the owl calls that didn't really sound like owl calls. I was the last one in bed, and I was trying to get my sleeping bags and stuff, freezing to death the whole time I was there. So Greg had actually gave me a big old nice sleeping bag, and I was getting it out, trying to get it laid out and get in it. And then here they got started, and I could hear an owl, but then you would hear another one, and it's like it couldn't even finish mimicking the call. You know, there was no trill, and it was different every time it done it. And every time it would make a noise, it would get closer and closer and closer. And by this time, I was finally laying in the tent and you know, just kind of laying there on my back, trying to get warm. And I can see light through the tent. And I'm thinking, if this thing walks up on me, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to freak out because everybody's in bed, you know, but I had set recorders out. Debbie had set a trail cam out on the cooler in between our campsites. So I don't know if she's checked it yet or not, but it was in a really good spot. And something walked from the back of my tent over to you guys, and it could hear me. First, it walked from up on the tent, like I'm talking. Every time it made a call, it would get closer. And the next time it did, it sounded like it was within feet of my tent. I started doing this, just feeling around, trying to find my gun and my flashlight. I couldn't find either one.
You got to keep them close.
Well,
Very
they were,
close.
but when I got to moving stuff around, trying to get that sleeping bag and stuff out, I'd kind of covered them up. So I finally found my gun, but I know it could hear me like rummaging around. So it's like it stopped. And then I could hear it like kind of like it blowed, or I know it wasn't a bear. I know what a bear sounds like. And this thing was more of like an aggravation that I was still awake.
Like a huff.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And so I stopped. I said, Mom, I'm not going to worry about the flashlight. So I just laid there with my gun on my chest. And I'm just thinking, I hope I see this, because I was at least going to take a picture of the shadow of it with my phone. But I guess where it knew I was awake, it never came up any closer. But it like you said, it like huffed. And I heard it walk off, like literally turn around and walk off and walk straight over to you guys' tent. So
well,
that's where the crack came from. That was in between our tents that me and Jim and all of us was looking at the last day.
Yeah. Do you think Sherry and Mr. Jim are having a discussion about a bear?
I don't know. Are they?
We were talking about like you don't even a big bear, you won't really hear the footsteps. You'll hear, like where they hit the leaves of the grass or whatever, but you don't really hear or feel that heavy step. And that's why I was wondering, if it wasn't a bear.
I was going to go.
Well, nobody got up, so I don't know.
I don't know. I'm telling you, whatever it was making the same kind of call, and it was deep. It almost sounded male, to be honest. I mean, it was really weird. The call sound that it was making. And it was every time it was literally closer. I could hear it moving, and then I would hear a call. Then I could hear it like moving a little bit. Then it would make a call. And every time it was closer to the back of the tent until the last time that it did. That's when I started like feeling around trying to get everything, because it sounded like it had been within feet. And then just right as soon as the bank started to drop down, I think it was back behind that bank.
Yeah.
It was more like a yell than the owl sound. I mean, it was
not what I heard.
Well, not a scream. I'm talking about like you said, you could tell it's more of a voice than the owl sound.
Yep.
But some people might have thought it was owl, but it wasn't an owl.
Well, we had recorders out, so I'm pretty sure it's probably got it.
Well, hopefully it does. And
How do you think it
maybe we can all get motivated to look through our evidence instead of just talking about it.
I stayed up all day today, but there was calls too.
All day?
I tried not to. I got up, took my daughter to work. I got up 5 o'clock this morning, and it's like I just couldn't keep my eyes open. I felt sick to my stomach. I was so tired.
That's good. You got zapped this weekend.
That's because she never went to bed.
I broke my tiller and came home. Jim worked his garden too, but I had to get out here, and I spent from 6 o'clock in the morning hand raking and breaking the dirt and getting stuff planted until yesterday evening. And I was just dead. My knee is so swelled up. I couldn't even hardly walk and was still out there working. And I felt it this morning, big time. I popped my knee again whenever we were out hiking when I was with Kane and him. And that was the first hike we was on. And I hiked the whole weekend that way. And yeah, my knee got really bad.
If y'all had come down with me and Mark, then you wouldn't hurt your knee.
If I'd come down with y'all, I'd have died.
So when are we going back again?
Next weekend.
I was gonna say ASAP.
Yeah. I tell you, we had more activity in our June primitive camp at that location than I can remember any. We had stuff thrown at us, found a lot of tracks. I don't know. It seemed like they were more willing to come in a little bit closer because the foliage was full and they wasn't worried about it. I don't know. But
Well, we have a couple of casts we've got to get all the dirt off of and stuff and see what we got.
yeah.
Oh, listen to this though. After you guys left, whenever it was just us four that was there and we was out walking around, we were hearing stuff the whole time, wasn't we, Sherry? Whenever we walked back off in the woods, excuse me, you could hear what sounded like really, really long, drawn out woos. Well, finally, we were kind of walking around trying to find better tracks to cast before we left. And I thought, well, I'm about tired of hearing this and, whatever. So I kind of mimicked its call. And when I did, instantly, I got what sounded to be like either a tree knock or that thing that Kane does, the
popping
mouth thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when it did that, I did it and like mimicked that instantly. It just lets out this like really short, like a whoop.
Yeah.
It was weird. I got the heck out of there because I was by myself at that point. So I went back to Sherry to the other thing.
Well, that's one thing we haven't talked about. We all have kind of just got used to hearing tree knocks, but we heard tree knocks every night we were there, didn't we?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them were pretty loud.
Yeah.
Some of them were faint and you couldn't really tell, but there was a few that sounded like Mark McGuire or somebody hitting a bat against a tree.
Yep.
And what did Mr. Jim say that was? I can't remember. He said it was something. I can't remember.
he forgot.
Do you remember, Mr. Jim? He would say, "Oh, that's just whatever," and I'd go, "Could be. I don't know." But he enjoyed it, I think.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, if I hadn't heard anything or done anything, just meeting everybody would have been enjoyable.
Yeah.
Especially Greg. He did it. Stories, that's for sure.
Did it keep you entertained?
Yes, sir. Closest thing to Jerry Clowers I've seen in a long time.
I tell you what tickled me. Somebody had asked Rebecca about her and Mark's dog sister, and Rebecca was standing there and she said, "Yeah, sister don't like it when it's too hot or it's too cold. She don't like her food if it's too wet or too dry. She don't like changes." And I was kind of facing, all I could see was smoke. And as soon as she got that out of her mouth, that Greg House, he blurted out through that smoke. He said, "She must be kidding to my wife."
Poor Greg. Now his wife's mad.
I don't think Wanda's watching.
Maybe not. Yeah, he didn't let much pass, did he?
Uh-uh.
He was something else. But
Funny. I laughed at every one of y'all the whole weekend. Couldn't even do any calls because I was already hoarse before I got there. We had cut up the whole way, and then as soon as we got there, started. So it was, I don't know, this is probably my favorite trip. I mean, I've got two that's kind of tied together. It was the last LBL trip and this one, and I'm telling you, they were great.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Whenever you get a bunch of good people together, it's fun every time.
Yep.
Spencer's ready to go. Let's go now.
Bring Spencer back on.
Well, we know that Spencer's wife won't let him go, so that don't matter. He can say let's go. It ain't going.
Did Greg and Rebecca or none of them not want to come on?
I only put it in the messenger group, the small one. I'm sure they would have, but I wanted y'all to be able to talk. So,
Well, we didn't want to have too many people on here at one time. And then Spencer and Misty's show on Sunday. They can get the other people's, what I was thinking. That way we can all just talk without talking over each other.
Yeah.
right. Yep.
Well, so you guys tell us what happened to you all then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna host for a minute.
Well, what happened to me is every night I went to bed with a full belly and I slept good.
Yeah, we know you did. We can hear you just fine.
Yeah. That's right. I was worried about snoring. I didn't have to worry about it. Larry was taking up for me.
That's
He
right.
was doing it for me.
Larry
No,
and drowned
this
us all
trip,
out.
I kind of just took it easy and just hung around camp and talked to everybody and had fun and made sure nobody's food went untouched. You know, if somebody's going to cook food, you got to at least make them feel like, you know, it's good and you got to eat it. So that's why when Greg made the apples, I made sure I ate them.
Mm-hmm, those were
Whenever
good.
Ben and Bradley or Bradney brought over the apple pie cake thing, I ate it. And the beef stew, well, bear stew, deer stew,
Cherry cobbler.
cherry cobbler, the cherry fried pies. Man,
Yeah, well, Debbie brought me a bag of potatoes and an onion, and I had a bag, and we cut it up. We cooked 3 big old cast iron skillets full of fried potatoes.
and I only ate half a skillet of that.
Big skillets.
Yeah, I don't know of anything that was cooked that I went, man, that's bad. Never did.
No,
Mr.
it's
Jim was impressed. He told me I had 2 hollow legs.
Spencer has to eat the bear stew the next time.
Yeah. Oh, he'll love it. It
Yeah,
was
it's
great.
good.
Yeah.
He's not gonna believe it though till he eats it.
No, he won't, because I didn't. I've had bear before, and like I said, it probably wasn't prepared right, but in that stew, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
It's good anyway. You fix it if you do it right and clean it up right. Jerky, burgers, anything.
Yeah,
Stew than anyway.
Yeah, it's better in stew than it cooked any other way.
yeah. Well, I never did see the bear jerky. I ought to tried that.
We didn't make none. I'd
I
like
tried-
to have some too.
I tried to get Greg to bring out some deer jerky, and he said, no, that takes 4 pounds of meat to make a pound of jerky. You won't see that. And I'm like, oh, I know. I was just trying. But is anything else happened that we ain't covered? I know it did, but
It was really nice getting to meet everybody in
Yeah.
person. I'd met Eric and Kane, but in person at the LBL, and of course we talked to them a lot. But Greg and House, and Greg and Rebecca, and
Mark.
Mark and Rebecca, and it was really nice to get to meet them in person.
Yeah, it was.
yeah.
Yes.
I know Eric, I'll say he had allergies pretty bad and didn't feel good.
Yeah.
He would have done a lot more with y'all. And
Yeah, he's sick.
Kane was happy that he got that allergy because Kane wasn't prepared to go out hiking like him and Eric normally do. But, but I know he wanted to do more with y'all, but just didn't feel good. So hopefully the next time we'll avoid any allergies or any trucks breaking down or whatever, and everybody will be there. And oh my goodness. Debbie's peeking in here. Yeah.
All right. Bring her in here.
She ain't got time. We're about to go now.
Hey.
There's the bear chaser. We done talked about it because you were busy on somebody else's show. How about that? Look at Spencer.
Are you
What is up with that? I thought I was being nice. Anyway, y'all have anything else? It's getting close to everybody's bedtime. Everybody look.
Throwing your hands up. What was you going to say?
I don't remember. I'm sure it wasn't nothing important.
I'm sure we'll think about something else that we wanted to talk about that happened and we didn't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was relying on Donna and she didn't remember.
You
Sherry had a notebook full of notes. Did we cover all your notes?
As far as I can remember. I have, listen, I've got books from every trip and I'm a note taker. Cause that's because
Hey.
On the phone, she can't remember what she put.
I know approximately where they are. I got to get a for them.
I'm still comatose from all the food.
Not me. I'm hungry right now.
Oh, Lord.
But
You know,
taking the notes is a good thing because a lot of times the tree knocks, they all blend in together. So you don't really think about them. You may get a bunch of vocals that you don't know exactly what they are, and they all blend in together. So it's good to take notes. So whenever you're listening to the audio or reviewing a video or whatever, you'll know kind of what time and all that.
Lightness thumbs up either.
Yeah.
Thank you, Diane.
that there wasn't more coyotes than there were. There that many coyotes.
Oh yeah, the coyotes, they did go off at one night for sure.
Thumbs up.
If anybody has a question, put them in all caps. We'll ask them real quick. And if we don't have hardly any questions, then we'll get off here and save some of it for tell them about Sunday, Misty.
What about it? We want to know
Well,
about our show.
Yes, tell
Well, I
them
was
the
sitting here-
show, the
Sorry.
time.
Okay, listen, I was just sitting here looking at the comments. I don't know why, y'all, everybody that's told us hi, hey, for some reason I can't comment. I don't know why it's not letting me. But
You on the show.
Diane, Billy, everybody, hey, y'all. But Mark, I want you and Rebecca to come on Sunday. Anybody that was there with us, if you guys are able to make it, we'll take turns and swap each other out and let everybody talk. If you can make it, 2:30 Sunday, Woodwalkers, y'all come check us out and come hang out and talk to us. I'm gonna try to
2:30
go.
Eastern, 1:30 Central.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go through the recorders and stuff and go through some of the pictures and
Yeah, I've got something else.
now, but golly, I'm telling you, I still ain't recovered, and it ain't from the food; it's from just
No sleep.
we
I
walk and
was
walk
about
and
to her
walk.
Jim out of the truck coming home. They were ill as
No, not
Yes,
her and Jim.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
ain't getting thanked for this. I was in the back trying to sleep, like literally over here, piled up on the window, and Jim and Sherry in the front, just like two little kids bickering back and forth. Me and Donna's back here nudging each other, looking at each other like these two.
They're like newlyweds or something.
You ain't putting it on me. That's what made me ill.
We remember it differently.
Yeah, well, let's ask
I-
Donna.
Yeah. I was gonna put Don up there and put him back there with you.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody in the truck was being hateful except for Donna. I was like, I'm just sitting back here keeping my mouth shut.
David.
We got caught traffic going home. The construction area where they were doing the roads too. That didn't help matters.
They're still doing it. They were paving.
Yeah.
Yep, there's plenty of that.
Yeah.
You want to tell us, Misty, about you snorting the biscuit dust?
Man,
I
I'm telling
forgot about
you,
that.
if we could really take hours to just sit and just tell the kind of crap that happened on this trip, y'all wouldn't believe us. You'd think we was all out there just tripping on some kind of bad drug. And apparently it's burnt biscuit dust.
That did affect her for 2 nights. I guess.
Oh man, we were the biscuits got left on, and when I was getting ready to take them off the stove, we were going to cook the last night, and when I moved them, I hit the lid and scraped across the biscuit, and when I did, it stirred something up where it was windy. I got choked, and I mean, I just couldn't catch my breath. I thought I was going to die. It was biscuit dust.
Oh man, that's so sad.
It
All
is
right.
what it is.
All right, we're gonna give Sherry and Donna. Mr. Jim's gone, but give us some parting words about the weekend or whatever you want to.
Go first.
You just getting to go with other people that have the same interest and have had experience in sightings. It means so much, and you learn. It's just like anything. Going with other people, you learn from them, and you get a chance to go.
Yep. That's about the same thing I got to say. I mean, it just
I'll
helps
just
a
go
lot.
with anybody.
Huh? Yeah, don't just go with anybody.
Though.
Anybody's
Go
word.
with a good group, not just somebody that if it's your first time, it's going to ruin it for you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Everybody's been so helpful and everything and informative.
And nobody says first thing, except me when Misty's running down into the dark and they're screaming and I'm about to beat her to death. But, I mean,
She just takes off. But be sensible and safe about it too.
Take it with a grain of salt, everything you get, and check it out for yourself.
Yeah. And be sensible and safe about it. And don't go by yourself. Misty.
Hey, look, I don't go by myself. I don't try to. I'll hear something or feel something or whatever, and I just
and you shoot off.
stray off.
Oh yeah, I know. I think Sherry was about to take a switch to you.
Yeah, got it. That was so funny.
She tore off across that campground. I thought, man, what's she done?
I come from the bathroom, and you think I took off and been gone for days.
Yeah.
Well, you headed right back down there again, and I didn't know you'd went to the bathroom.
I know.
Down there.
I think that was an excuse. That was a cover.
I was in the bathroom. I was, but the road that I was walking down was you had to kind of go past the bathroom. And I had done walk down there, and she was already getting on me about it and spotlighting me. And she was like, "You need to get up here. Don't be down there by yourself," because it had already been a little weird in camp. And so I just walked off to the bathroom. And when I come back, as soon as I stepped out, she's over here shining the light, and she's like, "You need to get up here. Don't you be down there. I told you to quit taking off."
And Misty's like, "Can't I use the bathroom?"
Well, somebody said that she went back down there. That's why they didn't know she went to the bathroom either.
I mean, she tore out of there.
Knocked the chair over.
Yeah. Grabbing sticks to whoop
Mother
her.
hen there.
Yeah. Like, this is gonna be fun. Get the video camera.
Don't make me switch your legs.
I believe switch did come out of my mouth.
Yeah, I did.
Oh man, but it was a lot of fun. It was. Mark, you got anything to add to this shenanigans?
Same thing everybody else said. It is just so, I look forward to getting out with friends.
Yeah.
And these friendships mean more to me than Bigfoot ever could.
Yeah.
And just, I cherish these moments, and they're etched in my mind. And I'm so blessed to have such good friends.
We all
I agree. The footprints, the wood knocks, the vocals, the possible sightings, whatever it is, it don't compare to sitting around the campfire and the camaraderie, the laughter, the stories.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can listen to Greg tell his funny stories, Mr. Jim tell his wisdom sharing stories that we need, Mark. All kinds of stuff.
I'll tell you, I came back into camp that one night. I don't know where I've been, and all the men were sitting around there around the fire. And Jim, he don't talk a lot, you know. Now the people he knows real well, he'll talk. But I come back and he's the one sitting there doing the talking, and I'm like, yes, because you know it makes it easier, you know, if you both have like the people you're with, and he doesn't have to like being the Bigfoot, you know. They can talk hunting, you know, while they're sitting around the fire.
Oh yeah, and we did talk a lot about hunting and different things other than Bigfoot, so it was great. So, but anyway, I guess if nobody's got any other great story to tell, we're gonna save them for Sunday for Spencer and Misty on Woodwalkers. Join them at 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central, and it's on Woodwalkers on YouTube. So look it up with a Z. Is there a Z on that sign behind you?
Don't look at my sign.
Oh, my bad.
Oh my gosh, no, you don't understand. I was trying to dust and I knocked the freaking Z.
Oh, she knocked the Z off.
And I can't find it. I don't know what happened to it, and I had time to fix it yet. So
You'll find it. You'll stumble across it.
I think it's behind this big old shelf thing behind me, and it's like got heavy duty casters. It's really hard to move, so I'm guessing that's where it's at.
All right, Woodwalkers with a Z. We'll see y'all Sunday. We're gonna get off here so Misty can get some sleep, and Sherry and Donna can go and get some rest too. I'm gonna stay up all night.
Me too. I slept till 3 o'clock.
You gonna do some hours, Larry?
No, maybe yell at a video game.
You probably gonna do videos and eat.
Maybe.
Thanks to everybody in the chat for getting on and listening to us.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks a lot for joining us tonight, and hopefully it was entertaining. All right, we're off of here. Good night, everybody.
Night, footers.